the AI guy from Vercel posted about, he was like, yes, this is really good. Why does Vercel like that? Well, Vercel likes that because you can't run a standard IO process. You can't run an MCP server on Vercel right now because if you use the currently now deprecated protocol of HTTP SSE, you will have essentially intermittent cutouts because it's serverless. But now with HTTPS streamable, you can do reattach. You can reattach to the server.
Yeah.
And so these kinds of like maturity problems, they're just getting worked through. I mean, you see Arcade's been writing up a ton about how we can do tool off. Like, we're actively contributing. It's an immature ecosystem. And so I would encourage everybody that's writing MCP servers right now to migrate to HTTPS streamable as your server transport. I realize that I'm going to be asking a lot because of what this now requires you to do as the developer. Going from standard IO, which is pretty easy to implement.
Yeah.
But that is where the world's going. That is where Cursor's going to go. That is where Windsurf's going to go, or OpenAI Surf, I guess.
Did they get bought?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Yeah. As of today, we are still unclear. But probably by the time that this
heard
comes
that.
out. I heard it too.
I mean, that's where all these things are going to go, and they're going to say, give me your URL.
Yeah.
It's not going to be run mpx-g.
I'll do one better. I don't think they give me your URL. The moment you install it, let's say you're using Stripe, right?
Sure.
So Stripe has an MCP, official MCP protocol. Really wonderful, right?
Sure.
And so what you can do with it is with version 0.2, again, we're getting in the weeds. Bring us out, Demetrius, when we are getting there. But there's a .well-known header that you put on it. So if you know that it's stripe.com, you can discover the MCP tools by going through it. You can discover the agent, the authentication needed on top of it using these discoverability mechanisms. And that's going to also unlock a lot more trust, right? Because now I'm not going to trust like this copy paste this code to make your MCP server work. I know my code is taking the official straight from the source and put it right, like start working, right? And so I love the kind of progress we're making with this. And it remains to be seen like amongst the different competing protocols, because Google obviously has its own agent-to-agent protocol.
Are you considering agent-to-agent a competitor or the same as MCP?
I think it's going to eat the cake.
Really?
For MCP,
really?
Yes.
Why?
Okay. So think about it from a perspective of the business side of things, not the technical side of things. I want specific control over how step-by-step actions get performed.
Inside of my
agent
product,
my product tool agent, I will use MCP. But the promise of A2A is that you delegate.
Yeah, it's a handoffs approach.
Correct. And so it is also, as per the docs, says that it's black box. So which means that I'll tell you how to do it, and then you, because you are, all wise with your tool, know how to solve it. So now the question is that better or worse, right? I think it's about the eventually the dynamics of like who's going to do the job better. But at least with MCP, without A2A and the other protocols, MCP was going to do everything for you. Your agent was going to like each and every task, right? But now you have a delegation mechanism wherein suddenly the value prop gets split between different people, and A2A comes in, like supports it. So that's my point about eating the cake.
That's fair. I feel like though, maybe it's just that I haven't worked it out fully in my head, but like, I can't tell why it's needed as much as people think, because I've been building agent-to-agent systems for quite some time, and really a tool call with a pedantic model that describes when to go from one agent to another agent is a pretty effective way to do a handoff, and it's not a black box at all. It's like completely observable and clear.
Wouldn't it be the black box is happening because inside of my product, I don't want you to know how I'm getting the job done?
Yeah, there are definitely cases where I think that would be valuable.
And plus, it makes a lot of sense for these big enterprises that are on board with agent to agent.
Especially for payments, I think. Like, you know, you're talking about the Stripe example. I think like an agent, which it seems like everybody wants to talk about, you know, agents calling a tool to go call an agent, right? That there's going to be some type, if that's a payment, there's got to be some type of like, you can think about it like a TLS handshake, right?
Yeah.
I think that equivalent will come up.
So
but is that
blockchain?
A2A?
That's what we're going to
hold on.
Blockchain. Zero trust.
Yeah. With the HTTP, there is a response header that you can send which says payment required, right? And then you can trigger a payment surface for it. With A2A, because of this black box nature, my current what I think is going to happen is it's going to be all contracts based, which
like
is
don't say like Ethereum, like
no,
like smart
dude,
contracts.
no. I mean this we are
I
talking
thought
about.
we were about to do Web3, and I was like, we're gonna get labeled Web3 blockchain. Crypto
Get out now, stop.
Abort.
No. I mean,
someone's gonna send me a nasty email for saying that.
Paper and pen contracts, right? Which is going to be like huge dollar amounts because now you're suddenly taking the risk along with just like doing the work for you.